Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and happy moments to all of us from wherever you're watching us from in this beautiful channel called Touching Lives Through Love. First, I want to appreciate you very much for being part of this beautiful big family called Touching Lives Through Love. And here we don't do much, we just do simplest thing possible. We give love, and through giving love we touch a life, and that's why we are touching lives through love. Welcome and welcome back to our family members who have already been here. If you're new here, you are here in the right place, and I welcome you. I request you to subscribe to our channel and also press the notification bell so that anytime we upload a video, interesting videos, you'll be among the first people to get notified that there's a new video to watch actually. And like now, I have been away for some time. My apologies for that. And then now I am back. And trust you me, I am back with a bang. I'm back with lots and lots of video to record and upload for all of us. And more so, I have a keen eye on mental wellness. So we shall be doing a lot of mental wellness videos. I intend to keep them short and brief but very precise. And these mental wellness videos, or the series for mental wellness, will not be so complicated. It will not be like we are learning, like we're in a class, like we complicate everything. We are going to make it very simple, because it is the usual day-to-day activities that we face in our lives that contribute to our mental wellness, either positively or negatively. So our mental wellness series will be relating to our daily activities that we do every day. Everything that we do every day has an impact it has on our mental wellness. And sometimes we find ourselves worrying about things, sometimes we find ourselves concerned about things, sometimes we find ourselves fearful about things, sometimes we find ourselves caged, not able to spread our wings and fly because of maybe what we went through, our past experiences, and the things that have been happening in our lives. We shall be handling all that in very simplified versions, very brief versions, and very precise manner. So my name is Gladys, or if you like, you call me Mama Girls, because I have 4 beautiful girls, 1 biological and 3 are my foster daughters, who I love very much and who actually made us create this channel, because most people kept asking for their progress since we rescued them from the slums in the year 2020. All of you know that story. After we realized that their biological father was sexually molesting them, we got them to come and join our family and become part of us. And now they're my beautiful, beautiful babies. And that's why we created this channel called Touching Lives Through Love, because actually it's not that like we've never touched lives again, but if I'm asked if I've ever touched lives and felt I have impacted generations, it is the lives of these 3 girls, because God brought them into my hands when they were in a terrible, terrible condition. But by the grace of God, now those girls, for whoever who follows the videos uploaded in this channel, you can see God. You can see the beautiful work God has done on our girls. They're now big, they're now beautiful. And that's why it dawned on me that actually you just need to touch a life simply through love, because you can give too much, but without love you'll not impact that life. So today I want to just welcome you back, tell you that I am back. So I don't have much to talk about, but I want to give something to make us get kick-started on our mental wellness. And we said in our mental wellness segment we shall be discussing about the small things or the big things that we encounter in our daily activities. They make us worry, they make us concerned, and all that. And I want to kick-start it with my own story, a life that I lived one time, and actually it made me think I'm losing it in my life. And that is my life as a housemaid, my life as a house girl or my life as a nanny. I thank God today I am no longer a nanny. So I'm here to kickstart this segment in this series by encouraging you who is there doing an odd job which you feel, God, please make a way for me. This is not what I want to be doing all my life. It is not to say that housemates are not important. It is not to say that the nannies are not important. What I'm saying, everybody, this is what they feel. This is what I feel I want to do with my life. And so I'm only doing this as a stepping stone to help me hold on, to help me keep hope alive as I wait to go to my next destination and go to what I really want. So it's not like to disqualify anybody's job, but it's just to encourage somebody who feels I am not yet there. I'm going to do it with my own personal story in a very brief way. So I happened to join high school, but when I got in Form 3, my school fees balances had accumulated too much, and the school administration were chasing away those ones who had big balances to go home and bring the money so that they can be allowed to continue with their classes. And so I went back home and I found my mother, who is the only breadwinner, because I'm raised up by a single mother. And big ups to all single mothers. I love you guys. You do an amazing job. I'm raised up by a single mom. Myself, I am a single mom of 4. 3 foster daughters and my biological. So big ups to all single mothers. I know the struggles, I know the fights, I know how you keep it real for your children. So I went home and I found my mother sick and bedridden, not even going to work. And so when I got home, I remember my mom was so sick, she could not even raise her head to see that I am home. So I looked at her, and when she just turned her eyes and looked at me, she saw me carrying my school bag, and she was like, please be satisfied with where you have reached and give me a chance to educate your siblings to also get to where you reached. And to me, that was the most polite way my mom would tell me, my daughter, you're not going back to high school. You're not going back to school. You're not going to sit in that class again. Your education has reached there. She didn't have any other way to tell me but use those simple words. And so I removed my school uniform. In my mind, I registered very fast. It's like mommy is saying I'm not going back to school. There's no money. Life at home is hard. My mom is terribly sick herself. She's terribly sick, but she doesn't have money to go see a doctor. She doesn't have money to buy medication. Even money to have food in the house is a problem. Even money to pay the rent for our tiny house that we used to live that time was a big problem. Actually, for those people who ask me where I got the passion to do the feeding program that I do in the slum, I refer back to those days when we were really struggling to have a meal on the table, and the only hope that we could have that we are going to eat is my mom's friend who would come visit our homes more often, and they would carry some shopping, and anytime they came to visit us, would be so happy because that time would have food to eat for some few days. If they don't come, then we don't have food. I remember during those days, there is a day I would wake up and then there's very little flour or flour depending with how you pronounce it, very little flour remaining to make some porridge. And I would make some little porridge, like maybe a cup or two, and I would feel like this cup or two, I'll divide it, give my mom some little because my mom is not feeling well. I also give my sister some little. I also give my brother some little, and it's finished. So me, I would find some survival ways until these ladies who are my mom's friend would visit us and again bring us food and would be happy we are having food for some few days. So that's where my passion to feed a hungry child actually came from, because I know how it felt that time. I know how happy we felt when those ladies visited us and brought a lot of food, and so I can associate with the hunger the kids in the slum are going through. Definitely the kind of hunger as we went through is not intense, is not too much like what the kids in the slum are going through them. For them, it's I don't even know how they survive. I don't even know how they survive. And that's why I keep mobilizing my friends, including you, to come on board and feed a hungry child in the slum. And so, long story short, I now started my life in at home, and I could not be able to go back to school, and that disturbed me in my mind. I have just gone up to third form in high school, only 1 year to go, I complete, and now I'm out. It really destabilized my mind in a big way, and that's why I'm saying the mental wellness segment is going to be run through the real issues that happen to us. So that is the time I was feeling like I'm now, life is now beginning not to make sense to me, because remember, at that time I'm a little girl, very tiny, I think around 16 there. I'm very tiny, I'm very little, I don't know how to forge forward, I don't know how to face life on my own. My mom is here sick, she can do nothing for herself. And at that time I got a thought, let me call my friend called Wanja and ask her to get me a job, because herself she used to work as a house girl. It may be that is the easiest job to get, because as a house girl, nobody will ask you for papers, you don't need any qualifications, people are all over looking for housemaids, and so it's an available job. And so I asked for my friend Wanja to get me a job, and definitely she did me the favor, she got me a job. I got my first job as a house girl in an estate called Buruburu Estate, and I was employed by a fantastic lady who I always love mentioning. She's called Mrs. Grace Ndongo. Mrs. Grace Ndongo employed me, became my boss, and became my mother at the same time. So in her house, I was home away from home. Actually, most of the people would wonder, are you Mrs. Grace's last born, or are you a relative? You people are just so close, and like you've really bonded, and like you are doing so well together, because they would see us in church together. When she's going for activities and traveling to her village, we are together, I'm always with her. And I started working her house, and I remember I was being paid every month 1,500 Kenya shillings. 1,500 Kenya shillings is like 15 US dollars. Yeah, it's like 15 US dollars, because I know this video will be watched globally. You can convert that to 15 US dollars a month. And that was good, because during those times the housemaids were just being paid peanuts. So Mrs. Ndongo was actually paying me. I was among the people who were being paid well then. And I thank God because of Mrs. Ndongo. So to fast forward, I intend to keep this video very short, because I will do another now broad video about this whole story and put in the details. Mrs. Ndongo stayed with me, and I worked for her for 2 years. And in those 2 years, I was really hating myself, and that is where now I am, because some of us feel bad about who we are, not necessarily because of so many things, but particularly because of what you are currently doing, what is currently happening in your life. You feel this is not the life I want, this is not where I want to be, but because I have to raise up my kids, because I have to provide, because I'm the only breadwinner, I need to do this. Some of the people are even working in nightclubs, not because then working in a nightclub is bad, but they feel this is not my life, this is not where I belong. Some of the people are drug addicts, not because they want to do drugs or take alcohol or do all those messy things, but it's because life at the moment has pressed you in a corner that is not your corner, and you are trying to fit in there, but you're not fitting in because you don't feel like that is where you belong. And for me, I had to work as a house girl for 2 good years. Every day waking up, scrubbing the floor, doing the dishes, washing the clothes, washing Mrs. Dongo's car, cooking, and all this and all that. It doesn't mean that I don't do those things today. I do them because in my house I will do them, But that time I was doing them because life has pushed me into a corner that I'm not understanding where I am. I'm not understanding why are things happening like this. But then I have to keep afloat. I have to do this to keep afloat. With the little money that I am getting, I am able to pay my mom, to buy my mom some medication. I'm able to send my mom some money, then they can have food for her and my siblings. So that's the best I could do at that moment. And in all this time, I kept praying and trusting God. Please, God, you know my heart desire is to one day go back to high school, finish my O-levels, go to campus, graduate, and become this great, great, great woman, be employed, become a career woman, and who I am today. And I thank God. So I am here to encourage somebody. You could be a person going through a situation that you feel this doesn't match me. You could be employed in an organization, and the level you are at, you feel, no, I'm even overqualified. I deserve a better rank. I deserve some promotion, but then it's not coming. Hold on right there. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. Keep your mind calm. Keep your mind sober. Go on your knees. Talk to God about it, because He is the only person who can change the situation for you. And I am a living testimony. If God could actually, for real, could actually change my life, now I'll give you that story in another series. I completed my high school miraculously. I joined campus in the University of Nairobi, and I graduated in the year 2014. I got a second class upper division. From that now I am here, moving on with life well, moving on with everything well, and with a totally different whole story, and by faith pursuing a master's. That can only be God in heaven. And that God in heaven has not ceased doing it. He can do it for you. I know there are some people who watch these videos and they are working in the Gulf. They are working in those countries where you are mistreated, you are mishandled, you are beaten, you're not treated like a human being. And you're like, oh my God, I am in a faraway country, away from my home. I don't even know how to handle things here. You know, I don't even have friends. I can't even speak for my own self. I just have to bend low and lie flat and just do as they say. But it doesn't mean that I'm happy. If only God, you can bless me to have a beautiful life and help me go back to my country and make me live my life, I would be so happy. God can do it for you. God can do it for you. Don't give up. Don't give up. There are people who depend on others. You live a life of never speaking your mind, because the person who is sponsoring your life, or the person who is supporting you to go on in life, if you dare talk or if you dare speak, they are going to move away from you. They're going to remove the support they have been giving you. So as much as you feel this is not it, I want to say I don't want this, but then you hold your mouth, you put a black tape on your lips, and you keep mute. You can't talk. One day there's a God who can bless you to live your life without being supported by anybody, to live your life without being caged by anybody's because of their support, and be able to be a free person. You live your life with a lot of freedom. If God changed my story, moved me from being a house girl and to who I am today, so blessed and so capable that I am able to foster 3 more children who are not biologically mine. There is a God that changes people's story. Hold on, keep hope alive, and keep talking to God. Keep your mind focused on that which you want. You know, I remember I kept my mind reminding my mind, I want to go back to high school. I want to sit for my KCSE, Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education. I want to do that paper. I want to have a certificate, written my name on it, to just show that I am learned, to just show that I am a literate person, to just show that I was in school. I want that certificate. And I kept reminding my mind, and I kept knocking doors. I knocked one door after another, seeking for scholarship, seeking for sponsorship. I would really feel so frustrated. I will come back again here and give you a story on how now God made a way for me to go back to high school after I stayed at home for 7 good years. 7 years out of school, not able to access class, not able to learn, but the passion in me for finishing my high school is not dying. Actually, at some point I would really be so mad to God, and I would feel so angry at God, and I would ask God, if you're not providing for me to go back to high school, if you're not opening a door and a way for me to go back to school, then why keep giving me this desire and this heavy burden in me that Gladys, one day you will be able to go back to school and complete high school? Why are you keeping it alive in me? Why can't I just have a don't care attitude and say, after all, does it mean it's everybody who has gone to high school? And let me just be carefree and just forget about this school thing. But then the burden was so heavy on me, the motivation was so fresh in me, such that at times, those days I used to work for Mrs. Dong as a house girl, I would be sent to go and buy something, maybe in the shop or outside there on the grocery shop. And maybe when I'm buying, a schoolgirl or a schoolboy passes, and then they are dressed in their uniform, and then they are carrying their school bag. Oh my God, I would really admire them. I would stop buying whatever I'm buying, and I would really admire them, look at them, admire their uniform, admire their shoes, admire their bag. I would really look at them, escort them with my eyes, look at them until they disappear and go. By that time, I'm lost in thoughts. I'm in another world. I'm just telling God, Jehovah God, when will I see myself in school uniform? When will I see myself with a school bag? When will I see myself in school shoes? When will I see myself going to school and seated in a class? And by the time I come back to this world, I would find tears rolling down my cheeks, because I feel, God, that's the life I want. I don't have it. I'm not getting it. I've knocked doors. I've gotten frustrated. As a human being, I feel I want to give up. But God, that's the life I want. That's what I want. I want to go back to school. So I'm speaking to all of us. May God help us to keep calm. That which you want that you have not gotten, let it not make you get depressed. Don't accept to fall into depression. Don't accept to be so overstressed because you're not in a house that is of your desire. Maybe you're living in a small squeezed house and you have a big family and you feel this is not the kind of a house I desire to live in, but that's what you are living in today. Just keep calm, keep your mind at peace, but just talk to God about it. One day God shall give you that house you desire, that job you're doing. Some of us are working in the market. Some of us are working in grocery shops. Some of us are doing small jobs. Some of us are doing odd jobs. And you have papers. You have gone to school. You have degrees. You have graduated. But you have really humbled yourself to do some jobs that are done even by people who have never gone to school, because you have to make ends meet. Let it not bring depression to you. Just keep it calm at that, and remember there is a God in heaven that can change and transform your story. It's only now that you're doing that which you don't like. Years to come or time to come, you shall be somewhere telling people what I'm telling you, because God will honor your desires. God will answer your prayers. You will get a job that matches your qualification. You will live a lifestyle that matches you. Some of us are parents. We are getting depressed and stressed because I'm not dressing my children the way I want them dressed. I'm not providing for my children the way I want them provided for. I'm not giving a lifestyle that I wanted for my children. My children are not going in the schools I dreamt of my children going. It's just for now. Calm down. Take it easy. Accept it the way it is, because this a lot of mental mental issues and depression and all that, those things that bother our mind and make us even fall sick, is simply because we don't accept where we are at the moment. So I really encourage you, accept the situation as it is, because you've done all you can, but you can't change it at the moment. Accept as it is and allow God time, a transition time and period, to change and transform things for you. I'm no longer a house girl. I'm no longer earning $15 per month. I am no longer being commanded, come here, go there, do this. I'm no longer living that life that was never mine. Now the life I'm living, I feel now I'm not yet there, but I feel I'm on the right path to heading to where I am. So I feel I'm good. I feel I'm okay. And I thank God for that. And I pray that God shall do it for you. So don't bother your mind with too much. If you cannot change the situation at the moment, accept things as they are. Just stay calm, but keep talking to God. Some of us are housed. You are living in people's houses. And when you live in people's houses, it's not easy at times. Sometimes you are quarreled for nothing. Sometimes you are blamed for nothing. Sometimes you can't get everything you want how you want it, because you're in people's houses. Keep it calm there. You cannot afford your own house. You don't have money to pay your own. Keep it calm there. I remember there's a time I was helped by a very precious friend of mine I really love. She's called Kezia Wamboi in Limuru. I could not afford that. Those are the days I had started now looking for jobs to do, and I could not afford for any job. And Kezia actually housed me in her house, because the small job I found was not even able to pay my rent, could not be able to sustain my food, it was just, I don't know how I survived. But Kezia housed me. She would feed me. Kezia used to work in a boarding school that had given them houses, free staff houses. So she would go when she was a cook in that school. So when they are cooking for the students, she would put some small food aside and secretly bring them in the house, and tea, the students' food and the students' tea, and bring them to me in the house. So in the house, sometimes by the time she closes work, it's maybe 10 p.m. and she comes in the house carrying this little food and little tea in some plastic containers and plastic bottle, and then she would tell me, please eat this, don't sleep hungry. And by that time that food has gotten cold. We don't even have the fire to warm the food. We don't have the cooking gas. We don't have fire literally to light up and warm the food. And I would eat that food cold because I'm hungry. I would eat the food cold, drink the tea cold, and sleep. And I appreciate Kezia so much. She was there for me at that time. I was not able to do anything for myself. I was housed. So I know what it feels to be housed. So when you're living a life that is not like what you picture in your mind, don't lose it. Don't allow it to overstress you. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was telling me, since COVID came, they moved from an estate they used to live, and they went to another lower estate. And that thing had really stressed her up so much, because she's used to that high estate, and now because COVID came and businesses got messed up and everything, people lost money, people lost jobs and all that, they could not sustain life in that high estate, and so they have moved to a lower estate. She was so stressed to a point. When now they moved into this other estate, she would not move out of the house unless she's going to work. And when she's going to work, she would really look around, who is there, who is watching me. Now how about if my friends get to know I moved from this high estate to this low estate? And she was like hiding. She was like hiding and not living a real life. And I was telling her, please stop that. Thank God that at least you have a roof on your head. How many people do we have sleeping on the streets without houses? How many people do we know died of COVID that time Thank God you're saying my status changed, my financial status dropped since COVID came in the year 2020, because in Kenya it badly hit us in 2020. How much more blessed are you than those who died, than those who are sleeping out in the cold without houses? So I am here to encourage you. I shall be bringing many more mental wellness videos, but I thought, let me start with this, so that when we hear of mental wellness, we don't think it's about these big things that will just fall from the skies and fall down, and all that's mental wellness. No, mental wellness starts with, how do we manage what is happening in our current life? And at one time I went into depression. I will still be telling about my depression journey in this channel. And I went through depression because of things I would have managed better, but I didn't manage them better at that time. I went into depression because of things like losing friends. What are people saying about me? Change of life, transition, and all. I will tell you a very detailed story of how I fell into depression. I'll come back and let talk to you about it. So when I'm talking about mental wellness, is because myself, I have tasted it. I have been into depression, a bad depression, a depression that would have seen me dead, a depression that would have seen me cause a road accident. But here I am, God saved me. And if God saved me, then I have a mandate to talk to you, so that it doesn't lead you to where it led me. I love you so much, my people. Keep it here at Touching Lives Through Love. And please, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. Give us a thumbs up on that video, so that at least YouTube can know there is a video that is being liked by many people, and YouTube will recommend it to many others to watch it. So give us a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and share this video so that it can be of help to many other people. I love you, and keep it here at Touching Lives Through Love. Love you. Mwah.